In the final step of preparing data that you're getting from the Census Bureau and bringing it into a shapefile, you're going to have to do a couple things with the data that you've first downloaded, as I demonstrated in video 1, and then prepared for this step, as I demonstrated in video 2. Now what I'm going to do is open up Catalog View so that I can navigate to my data and talk about it a little bit before I fiddle around with it. I always recommend doing this with data files that you haven't messed around with before. If you haven't opened it in ARC, look at it here first. Just save you some time. Now, in this file, let's see. Aha. I had to refresh it. I was looking for something that wasn't there. So in this file, I have taken the CSV file that I was working with in the previous video, video 2, which I modified in Excel, and you'll notice that I saved it using a different file name. Do this. It's so worth it. While you're at it, you've got this file. It's just this crazy long name that you downloaded. Why would you keep it? Why not give it a file name that you can remember? And remember, save it to the folder where you've got everything else. So I've taken that file that I was working with and I've named it %BAs, and I'm just going to click on Table here in Catalog View, and you can see that's exactly what I had open in Excel. I've got one row for each of 469 tracks. I think this is for the 3-county region that we've been working with. Now, that table, I'll just drag it into my map. I'm going to take it from catalog, drag it up to map, and once I get to the map, I just let go of it, and there it is. I'm going to open up the attribute table. That's all it is. It is an attribute table. And what I'm looking for is something to use to join it to a track shapefile. So here's a track shapefile. It has a field in it called GeoID, which is that 11-digit field. You'll notice, especially if I make this wider, it's aligned on the left-hand side, meaning just by looking at it, you can tell it is, if I let my mouse hover over it, a text field. It's 11 digits wide. Hey, that's what we just created in in the previous video. Yeah, we did. So we've got this GeoID field. This is being read as a text field in this data table, and in %BAs, I've got GeoID, which is being read as a double. That means it's being read as a numeric field. So if I attempt to join these using that 11-digit common field, it won't work. Now I have a couple choices. I need to make this GeoID field match in both data tables. Now I can do that by inserting a column into either data table, either the attribute table from the track shapefile or %BAs. Problem is, with this CSV file, I can't add things grayed out. I can't add a column to this data table. I would first have to click here and say export and export it as a DBase file. Or if I right click on it over here, I can do the same thing. I can say data, export table. And to export a table, all I do is find a folder to export it to. So here, and I would call this %BAs. And when I save it, it gets generated, and poof, it gets spawned. Oh, cannot access %BAs. Why not? Well, if everything were going okay for me right now, and I'm not going to pretend that it is. Oh, it's because I didn't give it a name. What I'm going to do is click on Business Survey. That's the folder I'm saving this to. And here, I'm going to name it %BAs. That works a lot better. And there it is, my new %BAs data table. Now I can get rid of this one. It's no longer serving any purpose. I can just remove it from the view and open up %BAs. Now, as I said, I could have done the same thing here. I could have just added a field to my shapefile data table and made it a double and copied over GeoID, but I wanted to show you how to do this anyway, so here we have a new version of my %BAs data table, and I'm going to add a column to it, and I'll call this new GeoID, and I'll make this be a double, oh, excuse me, a text field. Whoops. Make sure it's a text field. And then when I click this X, I'll be prompted to save. I say yes. And now I'll calculate this field and just say the new field, oh yeah, that equals the old field, and say OK. Oh, whoops. I meant the new field. If you mess up like I did, you can just correct that. It's pretty easy. Equals GeoID. There you go. And there we go. So it is now, you can see it's on the left-hand side. It's the same as the GeoID field is the original one we made in Excel, but now it is, if I let my mouse hover, a text field. So now I can right-click on my track shape file, go to Join, and add a join, and use this field to join this file to the Montgomery Tracks shapefile using the GeoID field from the Montgomery County Tracks.